Now, over the years, they sort of misunderstood Cosmo and their aunt parents because, the most part, people believe he's dumb. In a way, yes, but it's just too simple to describe he actually dumb. I thought you ask more questions, hearing someone, oh, that person is dumb. You're just curious, what do you mean it's dumb? What type of dumb really is? Because you don't know what type of dumb person or dumb character that really is. You are sort of scratching your head when you meet dumb. What specifically dumb he really is. And I think that's sort of the problem with Cosmo because he never really was defined what type of dumb he really is. And believe it or me, there are quite a lot of different categories to fit dumb and why they're actually dumb. I think I'm about to break down almost 3 or 4 characters to describe Cosmo that he doesn't really fit in, but yet he kind of fits one. Sounds confusing. It makes sense when I break down each simple characters and compare him to Cosmo. Now, this is the first time on my channel. My name is Rachel. I like to talk about animation, not just animation, to reviews, first impressions, cartoon theories, and sometimes, if I have some spare time, cartoon breaking news. Of course, you'll like how it's going, you'll like to help my channel, but like, comment, and subscribe. That's the only thing you need to do. If you don't, that's fine too. If you do, thank you, because you, I passed my main goal, 1,000 subscribers, and my new goal is 2,000 subscribers. Of course, it's gonna take a little while, but you know I'll get there. Thanks to you, the people like, comment, and share. Now, let's get started up how the fairy empress misunderstood Cosmo and what type of dumb Cosmo really is. Now, let's get started. Now, to breaking down to make it sort of easier, I could put only 4 characters against Cosmo to compare and contrast, and also show you there are a lot of different dumb characters, but dumb how? And answer that question just explaining and breaking down each specific character till I have to get to Cosmo. Now, I think the first father is probably the most well known as Homer Simpson from The Simpsons, and a lot of people describe him as dumb. But the way is how he's dumb. You also ask that other question, which era you talking about? Because they depends which era that sort of changes how his idiotic was sort of received in how it's written. Because the very beginning, he was just sort of angry dumb. He reacted to things he didn't understand. He became sort of oaf. He liked to beat things up, scream, yell, be angry. But over the years, the writers got frustrated or tired of using that, so they rewrite him a little different. Other times, he was rewritten as sort of lazy, tired. That's what made him sort of dumb. He does dumb things because he's sort of lazy. Other times, or the final time, now he doesn't really care, sort of dumb. That means he gets his trouble because he doesn't care about the rules and complains why he's sort of in trouble. Because very end, the reason why he's dumb, he's just too lazy to do anything, too lazy to listen to rules. He preferred the easy way out while actually thinking. That's the best way to describe Homer, for at least for right now, to decide to change how his dumbness is received next time onwards. But not just him. Proud, Mr. Proud of the Proud family is another different type of dumb. He's dumb, but it's not the way you think he's dumb. He's dumb is because he's too proud and loud. Yeah, I mean that he's just sort of cocky. Every single time he has a W, he had to show it off to his enemies and think he's the best till something bad happens because his cockiness get him in trouble. This is the reason why a lot of people says he should know better to start to showing off instead being sort of kind of humbled. Like, oh, thanks to all my family. Instead saying that, he thanks to himself, no one else. I throw my money away. He should know he should save his money in the near future. Do something to really blow up his face. And at least he has some money left to fix the problem. And he doesn't. Because he's sort of very foolish. That's why he's sort of dumb. That's the best way to describe Mr. Proud, how he's actually dumb. Now, there's other categories like Richard from the world of Gumball, because Richard is the best way of describing he's dumb, but not the way you think he's dumb. He's dumb is because he lacks common sense. In fact, they actually focus on one episode describing why he lost his common sense because his mother kind of forced him to not to think because want him to stay in the house. Over the years, that sort of plan backfired because he cannot really make a decision while someone telling him to make decisions. And that's why the best way to describe Richard. He is just dumb. I mean, he's not just dumb, he lacks common sense. He cannot make a choice, then someone demands him to do a choice, like his wife, because his wife does compliment him becoming a little bit more wiser, but of course she had to ask his wife what is the right choice. That's one way to describe a character like uh, Richard. Now, I think the final character to compare to Cosmo or not Phaedon is basically Darius' father. And Darius' father, the best way to describe Darius' father is the fact he is dumb because he chose to be dumb. And that sounds confusing if you understand how you should break it down that specific character. Because every time he asks a question, if he's scared or doesn't know to answer that question, he gets angry. He gets angry, he remembers something about his dad. Because his dad, he remembers something about the new law. Because he remembers that new law, he's angry. Before he knows, he asks what we're gonna eat today. He realized he didn't ask the question, and he asks, "What do you ask, sweetie?" Because he's so nervous not asking that specific questions. He was sort of delaying the question, changing the conversation till he forgot what is the real question. And that's how you should write Richard from Daria, because Daria's father, he's a talented man, but he chose to be stupid because he's not really confident enough to ask that question, or he feels he'd be not showing as intelligent from his daughter. He just shows not to ask the question because, once again, he's scared asking the question because how he's sort of raised. But what's more, that's sort of interesting how he writes a character, specifically a dumb slash father, husband type of character. And Cosmo, ironically, all four types of characters, it doesn't really fit him that specifically. Even that there are more type of fathers who acts the same but does different things, but none of them, the ones I mentioned, fit Cosmo. The only one who's close to it is sort of Richard, because Cosmo and Richard are very similar but yet so different. Because Cosmo, he's sort of very naive, and this is the reason why he sort of kind of misunderstands sort of things or sort of commands. Because he's not stupid, he's sort of naive. Because if you ask him, give me cheese, he believed the moon is full with cheese and take the rocket, a piece of the moon rock and give it to Timmy because that's cheese. Once again, that is naive. But even that, I think that's the difficult part to Cosmo. That's still not fully him yet. The reason why Cosmo works so well is the fact put him in a position he have to make a decision that he lacks sort of between common sense and naiveness. One of the big examples that he says he loves his wife, but he said it in the wrong person because his wife was right next to him. Because he's so nervous, he says, I always will love Wanda. Because he could not think of anything clever to say or explanation. He just said it well filter what his true feelings is, and Wanda forgives him because that is the truth. Cosmo is not lying. He just say, basically, I love you, but saying just I love you, he said the honest way possible. I always will. Because that's the only answer he actually knows. But he never pretend to be something else. Because Cosmo is sort of dumb. He can't think of anything clever or anything because how naive and unintentional dumbness he is. But yet, this is what makes him so interesting and so hard to pin down because he's just half of the equation. The other half is actually Wanda because Wanda and Cosmo complete each other as a full character. This is the reason why how New Wish sort of figure out how Cosmo actually fully works because While Wanda, he feels like another generic slash father slash husband, some dumb dad. In a way, yes and no. And this is the reason why he stands out. He's dumb with his wife, not even having a complete answer because they are duets. And that make him so different and refreshing because if he can't figure out the answer, he asks his wife, and she trying to answer it, but she's not really giving the right answer. This is the reason why they're so obsessed with the rules in Fairy Odd Parents or New Wish, because the New Wish books or the new rules does actually point them direction they think they need to answer the question of whatever god kid they're protecting. And that's what makes them so different and refreshing because Cosmo is just honest. He doesn't lie. He doesn't pretend to be something else. If he lies or something else, you easily caught him. You're like, okay, what's the big deal? And that is sort of refreshing, but at the same time, really hard to do because you're not making a dumb character, but you're making two dumb characters. And how are you supposed to write this? And once more, you have to write it in a way they have to have sort of common sense. Put in a situation you have to say, oh, get out of the store. Basically, don't stay here, but they don't understand that. They stay outside of the store, looking in, looking awkwardly with the manager. And that's how you're supposed to write Cosmo and Wanda. Because they're not fully idiots, but they sometimes do something like that, and that sort of makes sense. This is the reason why you've watched the last final seasons of Fairy on Parents is sort of frustrating because they make Constable dumb, but never understood what you mean dumb. Like Constable is sort of naive, sort of lacks common sense. Both of them added to his wife. Both of them make decisions. That's when you have this sort of weird sort of have to make a decision that has no sense or with sense, and Constable has to answer it by himself or his wife, and that's sort of extra and hard to figure it out. It's sort of difficult, especially the long lasting series you have to make of that, repeating that sort of formula. I mean, it does get tiring, but you get the idea. And I think this is the reason why people or the writers of Fair on Parents get sort of confused because you have to really describe what type of dumb Cosmo really is. And that's the problem. You have to add Wanda in the equation and the reason why they're dumb that like sort of common sense and also a little bit naive. But of course, Cosmo is a little dumber than Wanda, but it sort of helps how they love each other and how they complement each other and figure out to do the right solve problem outwards. And that's what make Cosmo so different than the rest of the husbands slash dads. Because Cosmo, you have to really do have to think about what is done for him and his wife because it's a combination. But all of that, I hope that this video sort of helps why they sort of misunderstood Cosmo by a character, how it's written, because now you have a better idea how you're supposed to write Cosmo. It's sort of more scenario because you put him in the scenario, you have to make a decision, and that's the point where Cosmo is actually more fun, more hilarious because you have to put him in the sort of solution that he doesn't know how to use it because he doesn't have common sense. At least that's how I choose to interpret. I don't know, you think that's the best way to describe Cosmo? Tell me down below, let me know. I got nothing else to say, just thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.